Hey, this is Lynn Brown, and welcome to the Gritty Women Global Podcast. We are super excited today to have as our guest the amazing Dori Kern. She is an intuitive healer, an author, and an educator. And when she was sharing with me her story, I honestly was just thinking, Lynn Brown, you really have not been through a whole lot in your life, but she's an open book, and she just shares, you know, the good, the bad, the parts that have driven her and pushed her to where she is today. And she is an amazing because she has given back to the world now through her pain. She turned it into, a mess to a masterpiece, and she is now reaching out and helping women all over the world to also be able to, push through, work through, and become everything that they were created to be. So without wasting any more time, Dori, welcome to the Gritty Women Global Podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Lynn. Thank you so much. What a sweet intro. As I was sharing with you, I do have some deep childhood trauma. In my mid 20s, I uncovered repressed memories that my father had molested me from age 3 to 6. And, looking back, all of the signs were there. I made a subconscious decision at the age of 3 to gain weight to protect myself. And my mom, when I told her that, she goes, "Oh, at age 3, you were a size 3. At age 3.5, you were a size 6." Um, when I was 7, I think, my dad told my mom that he didn't want me to sit on his lap anymore because he was worried he'd get aroused. And that's not normal for a father. And then he also, owned a bicycle store. And so the fact that his daughter was fat was hugely embarrassing to him, and he was very abusive about that. Um, and so I uncovered those memories. And from the day that I uncovered the repressed memories, I started to pray and say, okay, please guide me to be a blessing and to help other women who have been through this. Because, if I have to go through something painful, I want to turn it into something powerful. And so that is exactly what I do. I have my business is called Moon Magic Oracle Healing Society, and I help women heal from trauma by one of the big things that I focus on is your inner dialogue. And you know, I would say probably most, if not all, trauma survivors have an inner bully in their head who is telling them the things that their abusers said. And they're lies. That's not true. And yet we believe those lies. And I believed them for far too long, and sabotaged pretty much every single area of my life over and over and over again, until I realized that I was the only thing keeping myself stuck. And it was my self-limiting beliefs that my father planted in my mind when I was a little kid. And I didn't know how to distinguish between the flowers and the weeds. And so I just kept watering the garden and believing those lies that he planted. And for a long time, even after I realized, like, I'm like, okay, that's not true. It's not true that I'm a loser. It's not true that, he told me when I was 13 that if that I needed to lose some weight if I didn't want to hang out with losers for the rest of my life. And I'm here to tell you, I am surrounded by a network of the most incredible, powerful, amazing women who are doing such amazing things in this world. And they all tell me that I'm wonderful. So he's the loser, not me.
Well, you are wonderful just from the short time that I've gotten to know you. And I've just got to pause for a minute. I love uh your example there of I didn't know the difference between the weeds and the flowers, so I just kept watering the garden. And that if anybody's taking notes, I would underline and highlight that. I know I'm going to write that down, but isn't that so true until we become aware, of the whatever the weeds are in our life. We just fertilize and water and keep them growing. So thank you. I'm gonna let you go and talk now, but I love that. Thank you for sharing
You're
that.
welcome. Yes, I love that image too. And those, it's not just abusers who plant those lies, those weeds in our garden. Society, our social programming, the media, everything, is conditioning us to believe that we're not good enough and we need to spend money on XYZ in order to be good enough. And everybody, it's pushing everybody to, work harder to make more money, to buy this, to buy that. But that's not what's going to make us happy. What's going to give us the happiness that we're looking for is going within and healing that inner voice and healing our relationship with ourselves. And, that's the longest living relationship that you have. It's the most important relationship that we have. And often it's the most neglected relationship in our life is our relationship with ourselves. And I don't know about most people, but a lot of people are a lot harder on themselves and speak much more negatively towards themselves than they do to anybody else in the world, And I did a self-love challenge last year, and I decided that I needed to start talking to myself the way I would talk to a small child who I love and want the world for, because I deserve that love from myself and kindness from myself just as much as anybody else on the planet. And so that's why I've developed this course that I'm going to be putting on starting May 22nd. It's going to be on Facebook. It's called How to Get the Bully in Your Head Out of the Driver's Seat. And we do that by awakening our inner cheerleader and really drowning out the bully's negativity with positive affirmations. It's a very experiential course. We'll do meditation, we'll do journaling. Um, there's, there's the basic premise of changing your inner dialogue, but there's also a lot of alchemy that comes into that. And I'm also a Reiki master, and so I will be sending Reiki and helping facilitate that transformation of your inner voice through this 4-day course, the 24th through the 22nd through the whatever it is, 22nd through the 25th of May, and that's on Facebook. You can search for that group, How to Get the Bully in Your Head Out of the Driver's Seat. You can also find me and friend me on Facebook. It's Dorey Kern, DoreyKern. I'm the only Dorey Kern on Facebook.
Of course you are.
Um,
You're one in more than a million. That's awesome.
So if you have a bully in your head, it's probably affecting many areas of your life. And for some of us, it affects, specific areas, and for some of us, it affects all areas. But when we have that negative dialogue with ourselves, it really limits our possibilities. And so, I really just want to help women change that inner dialogue and heal their relationship with themselves so that they can go out and live the life that they dream of, and do the things that, be the amazing people that they came here to be. I believe that we all go through traumas, you know, big T traumas and small T traumas. There's all kinds of, whatever your body reacts to negatively as a trauma. It could be something tiny that you don't even remember. And I think that, I believe that we came here to experience that, to experience the duality of the source and the void here on earth, and to learn how to tune into source, tune into our higher wisdom in order to heal the pain that we have so that we can, give back to the world and give back to others.
Wow.
I know that's why I'm here anyway.
Yeah, I believe so too. And there's such a great need for women like you to just be open and honest and transparent, because, oftentimes we're taught not to talk about those things. Oftentimes, as you have shared that, you were even condemned or, disowned for doing some of that, but you did the hard thing, and out of it, so much good will come from it. And so you definitely fit the role of a gritty woman. And so, I always like to ask this question to all the guests. The word gritty, to me, just the G stands for a grateful heart. The R is for resilience. The I is just be an inspiration, to the world, starting with yourself. The 2 T's are to think tough, and the Y is you do you. Now, out of all those, little examples there in the word gritty, which one resonates with you the most?
Oh my gosh, they all resonate so much, but I think you do you is really the one that resonates with me, because I think that when we, tune out all of the negativity and all of the social programming from what's going on the outside, and we tune in to ourself, and we listen to that voice inside that encourages us to pick ourselves up and keep going no matter what we go through. That's where the magic happens, is when we tune into ourselves and we do exactly what our soul is calling us to do. And as you know, about where you were talking about how I speak up about this, I heal out loud because I know that it's in a way, it gives permission, and it invites other women to acknowledge what they've been through and to work on the healing as well. Because you're right, it is something that, we're not taught not to talk about. And that's not okay, and the victim shaming is so bad when it comes to sexual assault, and especially childhood sexual assault and incest. I mean, we don't talk about that. Well, yeah, I'm going to talk about that because the cycle stops here, and it's time to speak up so that we can make it stop.
That's right. That's right. Well, I just can't thank you enough for just being so courageous and brave with your story. And thank you again, too, for just sharing it with us. And thank you for putting your great work out into the world. And, just as a reminder, everyone, that class on Facebook starts on March 22nd, right?
May 22nd.
I mean, May's 22nd. I'm sorry. Yeah. We've already had March. How to get the bully out of your head.
How to get the bully in your head out of the driver's seat. Yeah.
Okay. May 22nd through the 25th. And yes. So, I mean, free, y'all, free is free. And this is awesome. What a great way to give back into the world. So thank you again for joining us today, and for, just being just a bright light in this sometimes dark world. Now, I believe there's always more good than evil in the world. That's just my outlook. But thank you so much for being our guest today. And we look forward to watching you grow and flourish as your story continues to bless others.
Thank you so much for having me, Lynn.
Oh, you're so welcome. Just awesome to have you today. All right, everybody, stay gritty, and we will see you next week.